hand the computer to you.
Oh, okay.
Hi!
Hi! So today we're going to do a video on society's problems with depression and social anxiety and eating disorders and all of that super fun stuff. Facts. Just a quick little fact about teenagers. So if you're from the ages of 13 to 18, about 20% of teens experience mental health disorders in a given year. 20% are suffering from some kind of mental disorder, whether that's depression, some form of anxiety, OCD, DID, dissociative identity
disorder. Otherwise known as multiple personality disorder.
Yes. Oh goodness, what else? There's so much that we don't even have time. Some stuff that we've gone through. I've lived through depression and currently I'm dealing with anxiety, like social anxiety, and just kind of like regular anxiety of just stuff, life.
Yeah, I was in 5th grade, and
yeah.
I mean, they kind of overlooked the fact that I had depression then. Because I did actually bring it up. I was seeing a psychologist for multiple reasons, but I brought up the fact that I was sad a lot, and they're just like, don't care.
Yeah.
And that was kind of, now that I look back on that, I'm like, oh, wow. I also had a lot of issues with anxiety then.
Yeah. Okay. Now we're going to talk about society's role. People think that we can just, like, ignore it and, like, it'll just go away. It doesn't just go away.
No, you cannot control it yourself.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of people say, oh, well, sucks for you.
Yeah,
I don't care. I mean, you can just control it. I mean, just start eating again. It's not that hard.
Like with eating disorders, just start eating again, or just eat less, or don't binge, don't do whatever. It's not a choice that you, like, consciously make. And if you're a parent or a friend, a family member of someone who has an eating disorder or any mental issue, you can stand up. Like, you can go to them and say, I'm worried about you. Because they're gonna freak out and they're gonna think you aren't doing it out of love, even though you are. And you really need to just approach it as, I love you and I'm scared for you and I'm worried and I want to get you better.
Yeah, because I mean, a lot of people will come up to them and they'll be like, eat this, you know, as an example with eating disorders, or like somebody with depression, they're just like, be happy, it's a wonderful life, but you know, they can't control it. And you know, sometimes with cutting too, it's just like, oh, maybe if we remove all the sharp objects from the room, then that will help. But no, they would resort to something else, maybe worse. Yeah, you can't remove it all.
And not my personal experience, but a friend, they can make anything something to cut with. I've literally known someone that has harmed themselves with a mechanical pencil. You can't remove everything that's going to hurt them. You know, you can't just say get over it or it'll just go away, because it won't. You can't just get over it. You can start to help yourself and you can get the help that you need, but it doesn't just go away by itself.
No, it probably never will. In fact, it'll probably get a lot worse if you don't acknowledge that you have a problem or get help for it or talk to someone.
So friends that we've had or have currently, I know I've had a friend that's dealt with depression and an eating disorder and self-harm all at the same time, and you know her.
Yeah.
She wasn't in a good situation, and it's really, if you're a friend of someone who has these problems, you need to be there for him, but you also need to know your own boundaries. Because I got so emotionally invested in this that my dad literally just told me I could not be around her or her family anymore. He stops letting me go to her house every night, and because he could see the toll that it was taking on me. Like, I lost, like, at least 10 pounds because it was too heavy, and I would like lose weight, but then I would gain it back. And I'm still in that stage where I'm like, if she came to me tomorrow or texted me right now, like, I would go to her help, like, defense or whatever.
It doesn't work for me because all of the people that I try to help, I don't know if I actually help them. There's one person who refuses to tell me anything anymore, and it's really, really frustrating. Don't hold back. Just don't do it.
Just let it all out. Just
like this person, like, they used to tell me all these things last year. Started in December last year, and I was like, oh, this really sucks, you know. Christmas Day kind of sucked for me because I knew these things, and I was like, oh, this sucks, but you know, now they don't tell me. They refuse. They're like, oh, I'm fine. One time we were Skyping, and he hung up for a little bit, and then he came back, and then it was just pitch black, and he was just not really talking to me or anything, and then he hung up again, and then 7 hours later, or more than that, it was 7 or 9, it was, I don't remember, he's like, yeah, I overdosed, and I'm like, oh, thanks, it was in January last year. I was like, oh, okay. And it's kind of upsetting because, you know, it was on Skype, and I could have at least tried to help, but no. If you don't tell anyone, they can't try. I mean, you can always try. Like, it's just, and like I said, now he doesn't tell me anything, and it's really frustrating because he's not okay when he says he is.
One of my, like, I think the most terrifying moment I've ever had in my life is I have a friend who has depression and is suicidal, but he refuses to get help because he doesn't feel like his parents will acknowledge it. And we were FaceTiming one day when he wasn't doing well, and he's like, I'm just ending it now, and he was making this huge scene, and part of it I think was just drama to scare me because he didn't like that I tried to give him help, and then I tried to kind of like butt in, and he literally just, he took a shotgun and he cocked it, and I couldn't go further than that, and I just hung up, and I kind of regretted that. But also I knew I couldn't hear that, or else I was never, ever, ever going to recover from that.
No, I have a lot of friends, like, all of them have at least something wrong, and it's kind of frustrating some days, because it feels like you're always on call, and you're trying to help them, and sometimes you have to just think for yourself. Like, there have been times where I've just had to shut off my phone for a few days and say, I can't handle this, goodbye for a little bit, I'm sorry, you know?
And you have to be able to do that. You have to just be able to step back and regroup yourself and your feelings and your emotions, because you have to feel comfortable with yourself, and you have to love yourself really before you can try to love someone enough for it to with you. Well, my magical spirit animal friends, it's time for the faces.
Yay! Alright, ready?
Why are you hitting my face? What's your face? Oh my god. 1, 2, 3! I'm tackling you! You're tackling me! Ah! Oh my god!
Okay. Bye! Magical spirit animal friends.
Do you know how I feel? Or are you trying to